Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here from NBC Sports Bay Area. We are through one day of the wild card weekend, and we do know the outcomes of a couple games that were really not that exciting because there were such blowouts. Uh, D'Amico Ryans' Houston Texans beat the Chargers 32 to 12. Well, 49ers love, of course, for the Houston Texans to make it past the Chargers. I know, Jim Harbaugh on the other side, but I prefer D'Amico Ryans and that whole era versus, the Jim Harbaugh loyalty. I know you kind of had to pick a side. Ravens beat the Steelers 28 to 14. So those two games are decided. Sunday game slate is three games. It starts with the Broncos Bills, then it's the Packers Eagles, and then it's the Commanders Buccaneers. I'm going Bills. Also Packers and Commanders. Those are my choices. Vikings Rams game. Vikings, obviously. My dream Super Bowl, someone was asking me, is Bills Vikings. That's what I would like. Bills versus Vikings. That's what I'd like to see. Then, no bias. We'll see what happens. Not a whole lot of updates for the 49ers, other than the fact that Jauan Jennings did not get fined for the skirmish that got him ejected from the final game of the season, that kept him from gaining 1,000 yards on the season. Really such a bummer that that happened. And, he was just doing what he always does, which is block until the whistle is blown, pancake the guy. He didn't throw a punch. He got ejected, which was obviously wrong. So, sad to see that finally the league kind of corrected itself where they didn't find Juwan, but unfortunately he was ejected from the game. So maybe it teaches the refs a little bit of lesson on, how to deal with Jauan Jennings and, what goes on in the games. I think everything is a learning, kind of a learning tool. So hopefully they learn a little bit from that. I watched the games, but I was kind of out with friends and celebrating birthday dinner. So I did see the games, realized that it wasn't completely important that I be glued to my phone watching the games because they were kind of blowouts. Um, so that's about it. Yeah, so tomorrow opening up, I hope it's the Bills over the Broncos. Excited to watch Bo Nix though. I haven't really seen him a lot because I haven't, during the season, I don't get a chance to really watch all the games because I'm either preparing for the Niners game or watching the Niners game and covering that. So there's a lot of times where I don't get to see the games at all. Packers. Yeah, I'm gonna go Packers over the Eagles. Um, I think we know the history there, right? Washington Commanders or the Buccaneers. Either one really, but I'm hoping the Commanders just because Adam Peters is there, who was the assistant to John Lynch, general manager. He is out with the Commanders, and it just looks like they're having a good year. I wonder if Christian McCaffrey will be out there because Luke McCaffrey, obviously his brother, is on the Commanders. I would expect his mom to be there, Lisa McCaffrey. So we'll see that. And Vikings, Sam Darnold, former USC guy, and can't root for the Rams for goodness sakes. So that's the weekend, and I hope you guys are all well. I think I'm going to go to the Pro Bowl, but we'll see. It is George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. Fred Warner was the only player on the team selected first team All Pro. George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk were selected second team All Pro. And then, yeah, tough year. It's kind of one of those things. And what I've seen from as long as I've been covering the NFL is that sometimes, like a guy like Deommodore Lenoir is on the upcoming, like coming up, doesn't necessarily get the credit he is due because he's kind of a new name. But I do think Deommodore Lenoir needs to have picks and pass breakups. I mean, he had a really great season. Obviously, the 49ers rewarded him with a $90 million contract, but to get your name out there and, everybody talking about it, household name, you've got to have picks. You've got to have pass breakups. That may change with, a change at defensive coordinator. Deommodore Lenoir spoke so highly of Brandon Staley, and I know that he got some of his techniques from him and is kind of honed in on a lot of the things. So we'll see what happens coming up. I think next year he'll have another great year. He's not a guy that's going to, earn money and then be like, oh, I don't need to play hard anymore. No, Deommodore Lenoir, the hyena, is going to play hard as long as he is able to. And he kind of has that. kind of that Ronnie Lott mentality. So does Malik Mustafa. I think the secondary next year is going to be fun to watch. And I think it's going to be Renardo Green, Diamante Lenore, and obviously Malik Mustafa. I'm not sure. I would love to see Talanoa Hufanga return. I just don't think they will do it because they have Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa. But you never know. They could do that. At linebacker, I think it's Fred Warner, and I really like what D Winters has been able to do. But I would really think that the 49ers' priority would be to keep Dre Greenlaw in the building. I mean, we saw that half of football that Dre Greenlaw played. Maybe he's a guy that is able to do like kind of like a 1 year, 2 year deal and just stay with the 49ers, show what he's able to do, that show that he can stay healthy. And, the 49ers benefit and then he benefits because then he gets a huge deal after that. But we'll see what happens. A lot of time yet until we kind of see what happens through the off season. Free agency comes kind of after the Super Bowl a little bit, and Matt and I will be heading to the combine. We just found out we are doing that. We're not going to the Super Bowl. Normally we go for Radio Row and we do a lot of interviews, but this time we're not going. New Orleans sounds crazy. I would love to go, but we're just not doing it this year. Anyways, that's kind of the plan of what's going on soon, but I'll be watching all the games. If you'd like me to do anything else, any other dates, I am going to do an origin story, maybe next week after the games are all over, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'll let you know how I got into this business, how I got to where I am, and if this is something you'd really like to do, you could do it too. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Stay safe, stay well. I mean, huge support. Oh, also huge support, obviously. I started saying that, but to all the first responders in Los Angeles. They are doing a heck of a job. And I have signed up for a program that allows you to donate clothing to someone who is in your similar size. They're supposed to match me up with somebody. Also, donate if you can. If you can send clothing to one of the shelters, please do that. Thousands of people are without their homes. So if you can manage, I mean, for me, January, now that the 49ers are not playing, is clean out the closet time. So I'm going to clean out my closet, going to send some clothing up to the Malibu Palisades area, the Eaton Fire area, Pasadena area, and just do a good deed. So if you can spare anything, do that. I've posted a bunch of things on my stories where you can donate, where you can volunteer. So if you're up for that, please do. There's a lot of families in need. All right. Shout out to our first responders because they are just doing a fantastic job. I cannot stop watching the water drop videos and the chemical drop videos where they're laying down fire retardant so the fire doesn't, hits a barrier and it stops. So, anyways, I'm rambling and I will talk to you guys tomorrow after the games. All right. Bye.